Welcome back to another Finch Academy course, From Site to BIM, using Forma and Finch. In this course, we're going to look at a master planning project, which we've started in Forma, we've modeled our buildings, we've run our analysis, and we're then going to show how we can then take these buildings, upload them as separate variants into Finch, work on our buildings individually, and then bundle these all together so that we have a clean overview of the buildings in our master plan project, so we can get great figures and breakdowns on program use, on unit mixes, and much more. So let's dive in. So here I am in Forma. I've uploaded my site and my context with my terrain. Here we have all my context buildings, trees, roads, water, anything like this. This project requirement is for 3 buildings with office space, retail, and residential. So what I've done is I've drawn 3 buildings here using 3 different tools in Forma. Up top here, we have the line building tool. When we select the line building tool, it's going to have sections ticked here in the line building tab. We're just going to make sure that's turned off. Otherwise, Finch is going to recognize all these different sections as different buildings. Here on the building closest to me, I've used the basic building tool. This is great for drawing a building outline and then extruding and using the push-pull tool to make these little cut-ins as I've done here. And then in the middle, I've used a 3D sketch tool. 3D sketch is when we want to design more complex buildings. So we have our 3 different building types, and we also have all of our context and terrain. So now let's go ahead and upload these to Finch. To do this, I'm going to come across to Finch, where I've made a new project. This project is called Forma to Finch. I've gone ahead and set my project location. And then I've gone ahead and made my 3 variants for the 3 buildings that we've designed. And I've also made a variant for my context. The reason I've made this context variant separately is we're then going to use this variant bundles to then bundle all of these together so we get this master plan overview of the project. So let's go ahead and start by uploading our context. We come to our extensions and we fire up our Finch extension. If we haven't got it, we just go ahead to extension. Once this is fired up, we find the project that we're looking for, so Forma to Finch. And then we go ahead and let's upload our context first. So we come down here to drop down this manual geometry selection. We use the manual geometry selection if we want to upload all these buildings as different variants. Now, of course, you also have the option of not doing this and closing this manual geometry selection. And then we can see here that we have all the 3 building masses, all the context and everything is all going to be uploaded at once. So for example, if you're not working with master planning, if you just have one building and some context, then you can go ahead and use this option. You don't need to use the manual geometry. But we're going to use this to show how we can work with master planning. So first thing we do is I'm going to click on context, and we can see that this geometry that will be exported has updated. So we can see we now are going to export all of the context buildings and vegetation and terrain. Then I'm going to go ahead and select export to Finch. Wonderful. Let's go ahead and open this variant in Finch. Make sure it's all come across. Here we have all of our context. Now we're just going to run the process of uploading these 3 buildings to the 3 different variants. To do that, it's as simple as coming to our drop down here. Let's go for building A first. And then we just click on the building right here. We're going to see it gets highlighted. Key tip when selecting anything in Forma is that you have to select the roof or the top plane of the building for it to be selected. So if we click on the side of this building here, we see it's not going to be selected. Let's go ahead and select the top of this line building here. And then we can see that this building mass is ticked. So we can see that this building is now included in the export. I'm going to go ahead and select export to Finch. And I'm then going to do the same process for the next 2 buildings. So now if we jump into these 3 variants in Finch, I've opened building A and I've assigned some residential program. Then we have building B. I've applied some residential and some office below. And then we have building C, where I've done some residential and some retail on the ground floor. That's it. That's how simple it is to select our buildings and upload them to our different variants. In the next tutorial, I'm going to show you how we can bundle these all together and work with master planning